We're here with our friend Don Bacon, who's in a very tough race in a very tough district in Nebraska's 2nd. And it's crucially important that we win this race and that we win the Electoral College vote in this district, too. Don Bacon, how are you, sir?
Very good. It's an honor to be on with you, Mark, and I appreciate your invite.
Well, it's a pleasure. Don Bacon, tell us again, the whole country, but obviously your own district, what's going on in the district, but tell the country about your opponent and the district and why it's so important.
Well, we are one of the few states that do not do winner-take-all, so there's several scenarios where this district could be the deciding vote for the president. And I think pound for pound, we're one of the most important districts, too, for keeping control of the House. My district is an RPI of 0, they call it. So a lot of districts would say you're R5. That means the Republicans should win 5%. Or if it's a D5, that means Democrats should win normally by 5%. We're a 0, so it's split right down the middle. And so it's a tough district. I've never had an easy general, but I'm 4-0 on that. You've helped me in the primaries, Mark, so I'm tip my hat to you on that. But my opponent's from New York City. He is, I think, probably the biggest.
Wait a minute. Your district's in Nebraska, right?
Right. He's an import from New York City.
So why doesn't he run in New York City?
Well, I think most of us would like him to.
Anyway, go ahead, General.
He's got New York City values, I'll tell you that. But I think the thing that's weakest about him is on crime. He passed an amendment that made it harder to hold violent juveniles. And in Omaha, crime has gone down, but not with juveniles. It's spiked significantly. And the 3 county attorneys out here say the primary problem is my opponent's amendment that makes it hard to hold violent juveniles. He's also supported early parole and getting rid of mandatory minimums. And so you could just see he's weak on cops. And then when we had the riots in 2020 after Minneapolis, instead of going to Minneapolis and protesting, he led the protests here in Omaha against our police. We had more police injured in Omaha than on January 6th, right? And he was on the other side where the people were throwing rocks. And so he's really weak on that. He doesn't vote 20% of the time. He's trying to be a future I think he's trying to protect himself from tough votes. But I could go on that. But what's going on in the district here that's been tough, during the primary, the Democrats spent $3 million in my primary. And so I was taking a beating from the left and right. Harris has spent $21 million on TV here. And unfortunately, the former president, Trump, has not spent any money on TV. And then we have a Senate race where the spending is 2-1 in favor of the Democrat side. So the aces that my opponent has just been a significant TV advantage on the Democrat side. For our spending and on the race itself, it's about equal. And so those are the things that I'm going uphill on. I have delivered I've passed more bills than any other Republican in the last 3 years. Delivered for the district. I've been a leader on the Armed Services Committee. I'm a traditional Republican, and I believe in peace through strength. I don't think no one on the Armed Services Committee or in the House understands electronic warfare or nuclear deterrence. All these range of things I worked on in the military. So I feel
Explain, everybody. You were a retired general.
Yes, I did just shy of 30 years in the Air Force and retired as a brigadier general, commanded Ramstein Air Base in Germany, commanded Offutt Air Force Base here in Omaha. And I worked with nuclear command and control. I've commanded a reconnaissance wing. I've served in NATO. I was in the Middle East 4 times. I served with General Petraeus, for example, in 2007 and 2008. And so I think I bring a lot to the table. The world is on fire right now. You know this, Mark. Russia's invasion of Ukraine. What's going on in Israel is downright scary with Hamas and Hezbollah and Iran firing 110 ballistic missiles one time, 200 another time. I think we need some people in Congress that knows what we're doing at national security, and I fit that bill. By the way, I don't know if you know this, Mark. I helped put up the long-range missile defense in Israel in 2009, 10, and 11.
Wow,
and
that's a big deal.
Better than I ever thought it would be. To have a 99% shoot down of 200 ballistic missiles is incredible. And they made it better, obviously. I left in 2011. But that's the same system. But obviously, it's been improved upon. But it works wonderfully well.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fantastic. America, if you want to help Don Bacon, it's Don, D-O-N-J, middle initial, Bacon, B-A-C-O-N.com, DonJBacon.com. What is your opponent's name?
Tony Vargas.
And what? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, he served 8 years in the unicameral, and he's the kind of guy that opposes tax cuts until the last vote. But we have a 3-round voting here. He'll filibuster, oppose it, and then he'll vote at the last minute. But he's proposed for the biggest tax increases in Nebraska history, so he's slippery.
Yeah, he's a chameleon. He's the worst of a politician. Let me ask you this: but he's all in. He will be all in with a radical Democrat agenda on the border. He will be all in with massive deficit spending, which is causing inflation and food prices to go ahead. In other words, he's just another one of these robots who will go there and do what he's told by the leadership of the Democrat Party out of New York and California, right?
Yeah, Hakeem Jeffries has come out here for him. In fact, he's good friends with folks on Hakeem Jeffries' staff. I mean, he is from New York City, Tony Vargas is, so that's where Hakeem Jeffries is at. We've had Tim Waltz out here twice. And so, yes, and Sanchez from California donated $125,000 to him through a JFC. So she bundled some money and got him $125,000. So, yeah, that's what we're dealing with.
All right, my friend. How does it look there? Are you getting any feel? Do you have a good ground game?
Yeah. I believe we were down 5 points approximately in August, maybe September. I think we beat them really well in the debates. I think we have really good TV ads. And I think we're up a couple points right now, but it's too close for comfort. But we have seen momentum swing our way, and we've seen it in every poll, last 3 or 4 polls, about a 5% or 6% direction, my direction. And I've seen it for President Trump, too. He was down 10 points. We think he's down about 6 right now in our district. And that's despite the fact $21 million by Harris spending on TV and President Trump spending 0. And he's only down 6. So I think he may have been able to vest here and pull this one electoral vote out. But I know he's very focused on, Ohio, or I should say Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, and I get that.
And Senator Deb Fischer, who we had on last week, she's in a hell of a battle, too, because they spend an enormous amount of money lying about who they are and then lying about who the Republican opponent is, correct?
That's correct. This guy was a Bernie Sanders fan, or her opponent. He wants to get rid of the filibuster so they can pass radical abortion law, nationwide, mandate all 50 states with the Pelosi abortion bill, essentially. But I think Senator Fischer is surging right now. I think she's 7-8 points up, I believe, right now, statewide, and I think she'll win by double digits by the time it's done. And I think she's got the momentum. All
right. And we hope, Don Bacon, you do too. That's the people in the 2nd District, Omaha, and so forth. It's DonJBacon.com, DonJBacon.com. We'll put you on all our social sites, Don. I salute you, General. You're in a big battle, and you're duking it out. Good luck to you.
Thank you, and I'm a big fan. I appreciate you.
You too, man. Thanks a lot. I'm going to a lot of these districts that are right on the cusp, America, because I want us to hold the House. Some of these folks are not down-the-line conservatives like we like, but they're not down-the-line leftists who hate the country, like virtually every Democrat is, America. If you're in this district, Nebraska 2nd, please vote. Vote early. Don J. Bacon for the House of Representatives. We need him. We need all these members.